Today we're going to talk about what happens in a competitive marketplace where there's lots of buyers out there like now, and there's a low inventory in most areas. What happens is you're competing for the same house. There's different bids, there's 20 different buyers, it's a really fast decision, it's very hectic, and a lot of times you end up holding the ball with, I put in 1 million offers and I'm not getting anything. So what do you do then? Well, the best way to do it is to look the other way. There are houses out there that are foreclosures. There are houses out there that are short sales. And there are houses out there that are estate sales or just some little old lady that hasn't changed the house since 1970. Now, those can look scary, and a lot of people say, well, I don't have the money to fix it. Well, there's a way that you can get that money in the loan, and it's through an FHA program, a government program called a 203K loan. So I am Suzanne Hamilton. I'm a residential real estate broker with RE Home Source.
And I'm Audra Iori. I'm with Caliber Home Loans, and I'm a residential loan consultant.
And so today we're going to talk about how you can do that, how you can get that deal and you can still get the home of your dreams with a 203K loan. Now, Audra, a lot of people don't know a lot about these. Mm-hmm. So what is it?
Okay. So what a renovation loan is, it basically allows the customer to finance the cost of the repairs needed to the property and or maybe some desired items that they want to include right into the initial mortgage.
So can you do cabinets? Can you do new flooring? Can you do paint? Can you do appliances?
You can do all of those things depending on the scope of the work and what it is that you and how much the total cost is of the renovation. That would determine which loan program that you're going to go in. So if you're just looking for cosmetic updates or things that are required to meet agency standards, such as putting in a new furnace, new plumbing, new electrical, that would fall under what's called the limited 203K program. You're under $35,000 in total cost of renovation, and again, the nature of the scope of the project is really cosmetic.
Okay, so what if you need to do a lot more than $24,000 or $25,000? Is there another option?
There is, and that's called the full 203K. So if you're over $35,000 in the overall scope, or you're doing anything structural in nature, meaning you're doing a full roof tear-off, or you're knocking down a load-bearing wall to expand your kitchen, things like that would fall under the full 203K. Both loans are processed the same. There's just a little bit more, a few more steps involved with the full 203K.
But the full 203K is the sky's the limit up to your qualification amount.
Up to your qualification amount and not to exceed whatever the county loan limits are, depending on where you live.
Okay, so you find a house, and let's say, just for the sake of an example, it costs $150,000, but it needs a lot of work to it. Mm-hmm. So let's say we go with the streamline and it's $25,000. So you can put $25,000 into flooring, cabinets. So how does the 203K work?
Mm-hmm. So your financing is going to be based off of the purchase price plus the total cost of renovation. So in this case, you'd have to come in with a minimum of 3.5% of, let's say, $175,000. You would hire a licensed and bonded contractor as a customer. That's probably the most important thing that you want to take care of up front. There's no self-help allowed with these programs, so you do need to hire a third-party contractor who's going to bid out the work and who's going to perform the work. You're also going to need to hire what's called a HUD consultant, and we'll provide you with the list of the approved consultants in your area. The HUD consultant's role is actually twofold. One, to make sure that the contractor is including anything that needs to be done to the property to meet FHA standards is included in the project, and also to make sure that the contractor bids are in line and you're not getting charged too much for the work.
So that's great. This is somebody who has experience in 203K loans, so they can make sure it's all working. So no, you can't use Uncle Joe, and you can't do it yourself, and you can't use a bunch of your friends who are in the trades, okay?
Right.
But you can get all that done. Now, you have to use a general contractor, but they can subcontract out to other people, okay? So that's how you can maybe get involved. Some people who are licensed and bonded, because you do have to get permits from municipality if that's necessary.
Right.
And they would have to do those. So it has to be done completely above board because the bank is involved. So what is the usual timetable for a 203K loan?
Excellent question. So from contract to closing, we always ask for 60 days on the contract. Typically, a non-renovation loan will take us about 30 to 45 days to close. We want to add in a little bit of extra time because there's additional moving parts and there's additional parties involved in processing the loan. So always want to make sure that we make sure that we're setting expectations, and we allow 60 days from contract to closing.
Now, a lot of people have heard of 203K loans, and since a lot of lenders don't do them, they think, oh, it's too cumbersome, there's too much paperwork, nobody wants to do it, it's really impossible. It's one of those things they offer, but they never do. Mm-hmm. But that's not true, Audra. Your company does a lot of 203K loans.
That's correct. As long as when you're doing a 203K loan, you just want to make sure that you have the right players involved, and the process can go very smoothly. You want a lender who's going to support you on the front end and also on the back end, meaning you want a dedicated renovation department, which Caliber does have, who will make those welcome calls to the customer, who will be in touch with the contractor, who's going to take care of your draws and answer any questions that you have during the renovation process. And you want to have a loan originator and a processing team on the front end who can walk you through the process and make sure that your expectations are being set up front.
So that's great. So now it takes you 60 days from the point that you offer on a home and contract on the home until you close. So what happens after closing?
So after closing, the work's going to begin. The contractor has up to 6 months to complete the project, and depending on which program that we slot you in, the contractor is either going to get paid in 2 draws or up to 5 draws on the full 203K.
And the contractor knows that up front.
Yes.
And quite frankly, a lot of people, when they're doing some kind of renovation and they're paying out of pocket, contractor typically gets a deposit and then a final bid or a final draw. So that's not that unusual from any other project. Mm-hmm. Now, can you move into the home after closing?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If the property is not livable for whatever reason, and you're in the full 203K program, we can roll in mortgage payments into the cost of the actual renovation. That way you're not paying rent for 6 months and having to come up with additional money for the mortgage payments. It's already rolled into the renovation.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we talked a little bit about some of the benefits. One of the benefits being you don't have to compete with everybody else. You can still get a deal on a house with this kind of renovation financing so that you can still get that price without paying the full retail price on the market. Let's face it, when there's a multiple bid situation, buyers never win. You're bidding in a blind bid against who knows how many other people. So you're never going to win. This way, you get to take your time a little more. You get to look, because everybody's not looking for the diamond in the rough. What other advantages are there?
Well, think of it this way. The average home buyer is going to move into their house, and they're probably going to spend somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 within the first year or two making either minor repairs or cosmetic updates. So instead of extending credit on high interest credit cards or draining your savings account, you can roll in that cost of renovation right into your mortgage, and you know what your monthly payment's going to be. You're getting into the house, you're customizing it to the way you want it, and it's within your budget because it's already set, that monthly payment's already set for you.
And that's a good point, because a lot of times people will move into a house and they like generally the house, they like almost everything in it, but there's a few little touches they want to do. Now, if you're paying full retail price, you're basically paying, somebody else already did this stuff for you, and now you're paying to basically rip them out and then start over again.
Right.
If you don't like a tile backsplash, or if you don't like the countertop, or if you don't like the cabinets,
or
if you don't like the wallpaper, this flooring, that flooring. But if somebody redoes everything for you, you have to buy in all the way, or if you're going to do any work, it's going to cost you. This way you can start from the ground up. Now, does it take a little patience? Yes. Does it take a little time? Yes. But is it worth it in the long run? Yes, it is. Because you still get that deal, and you still get the home of your dreams, and you're not competing against everybody else. I've seen many buyers in this low inventory environment who say, I'm bidding on everything and I'm never getting my bid. Well, because you're not the highest bidder. But a lot of times cash people are putting in the highest bids, or cash is better than financing to some sellers. So in that kind of environment, you do have those obstacles. This environment gives you a fair advantage. So Audra, how do they find out more about 203K loans from you?
Sure. So if you're interested in finding out if you're going to qualify for a renovation loan, if you qualify for a regular FHA loan, you're going to qualify for a 203K. There's really no difference in terms of the qualifications. We're going to want a 620 credit score to get you started, and we'll walk you through the pre-approval process like we would with any other loan. You can contact me directly at 815-325-9741, or you can go directly to my website at financewithaudra.com.
Okay, thanks. You can reach me at 888-788-9544, or you can look for those homes of your dreams by searching the MLS on my website at www.rehomesource.com. Thank you.